Have you ever wondered how a single, massive ship could bring one of the world's busiest waterways to a complete standstill? Well, in March 2021, it happened, and the world watched in awe and concern. This incredible incident involved a colossal container ship known as the Ever Given, and it had a huge impact on global trade. Join us in this video as we unravel the fascinating story of how the Suez Canal, a vital trade route connecting Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, was blocked for 6 extraordinary days. From its surprising causes to the far-reaching consequences, this is a tale you won't want to miss: the gigantic ship and the crazy day in the Suez Canal. Imagine a ship so massive it could stretch across 4 football fields. That's the Ever Given. It was on a journey all the way from Malaysia to the Netherlands, passing through a tight spot in the Suez Canal, a famous waterway. But here's where things get interesting. On March 23rd, 2021, something unexpected happened. Powerful winds, even stronger than a hurricane, came blowing through. These winds were so tough that they made the big ship lose control. Picture trying to ride your bicycle in a super windy storm. It's not easy. Well, the same thing happened to the ship. It couldn't steer properly anymore. Then, at 7:40 in the morning, at a point 151 kilometers into the canal, the ship ran aground. That means it got stuck, like when your toy car gets wedged in a narrow hallway. But this wasn't just any kind of stuck. It was stuck sideways, blocking the entire canal. Other ships couldn't go through, and everything came to a stop. This was just the start of an incredible story that had the whole world talking. The big problem and the huge impact of the blockage. When the Ever Given ran aground, it created a big problem. More than 300 other ships, including container ships, those that carry lots of stuff in big metal boxes, big bulk carriers, like floating mountains of stuff, and even oil tankers, ships full of oil, got stuck too. It's like a traffic jam, but with giant ships. All these ships together weighed as much as 37 billion pounds, which is about the same as 2 million elephants. This massive mess stopped everything in the canal and caused chaos in the world of trade. Imagine all the stuff you buy at the store: food, toys, clothes, and more. Well, a lot of that stuff was stuck on these ships, and it couldn't reach the stores or the people who needed it. The total value of all this stranded stuff was about $9.6 billion. That's a lot of money, and it had a big impact on businesses and people around the world. The big rescue operation. The Suez Canal Authority, the folks in charge of the canal, asked for help from a company called Boskalis, who brought in their team, Smith International. These brave teams of experts worked day and night to free the gigantic ship. After days of hard work, on March 29th, they made progress. They managed to move the Ever Given about 80% in the right direction. But here's the cool part. It wasn't just 1 or 2 tugboats that did it. They needed a whole fleet of 14 tugboats, especially during high tide when the water was higher, to finally free the ship completely. Think of it like a team of superheroes working together to lift something really heavy. They did it, and it was a moment to celebrate. The Ever Given was no longer blocking the canal, and ships could start moving again. It was a big sigh of relief for everyone involved in global trade, but the saga didn't end with the ship's release. The Egyptian government impounded the Ever Given on April 13, 2021, when the ship's owner and insurers refused to pay the demanded billion-dollar compensation. A complex legal battle ensued, with multiple parties involved. After months of legal wrangling, a formal settlement was finally reached in July. The ship set sail again on July 7, 2021, after inspections at Port Said. It continued its journey to the port of Rotterdam. The incident served as a stark reminder of the complexities of maritime law and the challenges of compensation in such cases. The economic impact. The Ever Given crisis, occurring amid the backdrop of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, had profound economic consequences that reverberated globally. Let's see detailed economic impact of the Suez Canal blockage. Immediate trade disruption. When the Ever Given lodged itself in the Suez Canal on March 23, 2021, it immediately halted the flow of goods through one of the world's busiest trade routes. This disruption was felt immediately, with ships unable to pass through the canal and others unable to reach their destinations on schedule. Value of stranded goods. The scale of the crisis was immense. At its peak, more than 369 ships were queuing to pass through the canal. An estimated $9.6 billion worth of trade was stranded during the 6-day blockage. Lloyd's List estimated that the value of goods delayed each hour was approximately 400 million US dollars. Losses incurred. Egypt, the host country of the Suez Canal, suffered significant daily losses. The Suez Canal Authority, SCA, calculated it lost approximately 15 million US dollars per day in transit fees. Egypt's overall daily losses were estimated to be between $12 million and $14 million. These losses were a result of both transit fees and the economic activity associated with the canal. Impact on global trade. The disruption affected a wide range of industries, including manufacturing, energy, agriculture, and consumer goods. Maritime and logistics experts warned that everyday items, from electronics to fuel, were subject to shipping delays. Shipping rates and freight costs. The historical trend of shipping rates rising after supply chain interruptions held true during the Ever Given crisis. Freight rates on routes between Europe and Asia surged, causing concerns for small and medium-sized businesses. Alternative routes. Some ships chose to take alternative routes, circumventing Africa via the Cape of Good Hope. This highlighted the adaptability of the shipping industry, but also underscored the longer time and increased costs associated with such routes. The Ever Given crisis was not merely a 6-day blockage of a vital waterway. It was a wake-up call for the world, revealing the intricacies and vulnerabilities of global trade networks. Knock-on effects. The ripple effects of the blockage were felt far and wide. Industries with existing shortages, such as semiconductors, were hit particularly hard. The incident led to increased demand for alternative means of transportation, further straining supply chains and affecting small and medium-sized businesses. During the crisis, some ships chose to take the longer route around Africa via the Cape of Good Hope. This incident highlighted concerns about the fragility of global supply chains and raised questions about the potential for ill-intentioned actors to disrupt the interconnected global economy. In conclusion, the Ever Given Suez Canal crisis was a dramatic event that brought the world to a standstill and showcased the intricate web of global trade and maritime logistics. It serves as a reminder of the importance of resilient supply chains and the need for continued investment in infrastructure to prevent such incidents from happening in the future.